Okay. Right, so this is Natural Selection 2 Combat Mode. It's a mod of Natural Selection 2 designed to make it basically just the combat element, none of the strategical parts of the game, so there's no commanders on either team. The maps are generally much smaller. If you look at this one, this is a sort of stripped down version of Summit that we're playing at the moment, and it really is just a couple of corridors and that's it. So, because I haven't really done a live stream before, sorry if this is a bit rubbish, but I'm going to do my best. So the name of the game is that you, instead of getting upgrades through your team like in the normal game, you get them by killing other players or sort of being in the vicinity of people doing that. Every time you do that, you get a little bit of experience, which then turns into upgrades that you can use. You can have upgrade points, and it's the same buy menu that you're pretty familiar with, but you can use it anywhere. Even if you're a Marine, you don't have to be at the armory for that. And we've got our own tech tree that's totally different. So obviously, some of the balance issues are different for combat, and we're still working on that. But the general idea is that at the start of the game, you just have some of the weaker, sort of standard abilities and creatures, and as the game goes on, you can start getting stronger, and the game mechanics change a bit. So what tends to happen is it's a bit like Counter-Strike. The team that gets to the first lead tends to have an advantage, but you're hoping that there's enough time to pull back and maybe set up an ambush for the next wave. People tend to spawn in waves as well, so if you've died, maybe there'll be a 10-second delay, but you'll come out with a load of the rest of your team all at the same time. And you have spawn protection as well, so it kind of, yeah, it's quite hard to get spawn camp right at the start. So we're just going to fight these Marines off, and then I can show you some of the other features. So, as you can see, it's pretty recognizable. If you already know how to play NS2, you'll have no problems with this. So, we added a couple of new upgrades as well. Each of the upgrades tend to take one level to buy. Except for those sort of higher life forms like Onos, you're going to be pretty much buying a couple of abilities at once and then switching to something as you get nearer the end of it. Maybe switching to another life form, and you can always rebuy your upgrades by going to the ready room, but I think we may have some kind of maybe swap an upgrade point for being able to rebuy everything again. I'm not sure if we're going to have something like that in the future. So a couple of new abilities. We've also got a camouflage in. So in the regular game you have to be next to a shade to get camouflage, but we've made it a bit like Natural Selection 1 in that you just stand still for a bit and you get the ability to stay invisible for a while. So I can set up a nice little ambush somewhere. And another thing that's quite good about it, I think this is something we inherited from the basic NS2 code, is you can walk around, and when you're invisible it won't run around. You have to jump to switch it off that mode. I'm just going to try and kill this guy. No, doesn't work very well. So that's the alien side. I mean, that is pretty similar to the original game, except you now don't have the concept of the different types of hives and the different upgrades. You can basically just buy anything if you can afford it, but there is some kind of tech tree, so certain things require upgrades for you to be able to use them. So if you want to get leap, you have to get what we call the tier 2 upgrade, and that costs a bit more than the other ones. I'm going to switch to the Marines now and show you them. So this is the Marine team. Again, it's pretty much the same thing. The Marines start with an armory, and of course they have their comm chair at the start. There's a couple of bugs at the moment where you're not necessarily always getting an armory at the start, and this is something we need to fix. But we've still got a fair amount of time to do these kinds of things. So we put a new menu in for the Marines, a couple of new abilities as well. They're basically sort of existing abilities that we've maybe repurposed to make them more useful in a mode where you've got no commander. So we've got catalyst packs, we've got a resupply, which gives you every 10 seconds, gives you some ammo and some health. So I'll buy that. And the Marines have more of a sort of organized tech tree in that you have to buy certain things first before you can upgrade to the fancier weapons. And you can generally either go for one of three paths. You can either go sort of some kind of hardcore engineer. You can go for sort of a heavily armored person who has access to exosuits and that kind of thing. Or you can go for someone who has access to some kind of special weaponry like the flamethrower or the grenade launcher. I mean, either that or you can just kind of go as a regular shotgun, jetpack, that kind of thing. So there's a few choices. We've added a scan for the Marines. So sort of every 10 seconds, if you bought this scanner, you emit a sort of pulse, and that allows you to see the alien players through the walls. So this guy's got the scan. You see it was just flashing there. It helps the rest of your team as well. They can see it too. And again, a lot of this is just reusing the existing stuff that's in NS2. Some of it's like really not that hard to make, but some of it has been kind of completely new entities as well. So it's not all easy, but at the same time we've been able to use a lot of the vanilla NS2 stuff to be able to make this. So the other thing about this is that the game mode works completely fine if you don't have a copy of our mod installed. You can actually just kind of connect to one of these servers running combat mode, and you can play. You just won't have access to the menus. You have to use console commands. That's because mod support, I think, is not. I mean, it's there. The maps are downloading automatically, but at the moment we can't get our code, our sort of menus and things to show up on your screen unless you download it. So that's what you have to do. Let's see what other upgrades can I show you. Catalyst packs. So when you get catalyst packs, if you take any damage or if you fire, you get the catalyst upgrade for 6 seconds or so. That's again something we can tweak. We haven't really thought about how long it should be. We just got an initial value in there. So when you use the catalyst pack, you fire faster and you run really fast as well for a little bit. And I think this is something that's in vanilla NS2, but it's not quite implemented the same way. You have to have it dropped for you. So the other good thing we've got is this EMP blast. I don't know if you just saw that. That was when you press the taunt key, you can emit this stun wave that reduces the energy of the aliens by about half. So if someone's coming and sort of jumping around all the time, or there's alert flying about and you want to be able to stop them for a bit, if you use the EMP in the right time, that can be a real game changer for the team. But you can only use it once every 30 seconds, a bit like the same with the. So so it looks like the aliens are fighting back now after what was a pretty round defeat at the start of the game. But you can never really tell, because it all comes down to who does the biggest rush in this game. It's all about a sort of coordinated attack. So anyway, I'm just going to shut up now, and you guys can have a look at the game properly. And yeah, this is Natural Sector 2 combat mode in action.
Command station taking damage.
Someone well lost?
Command station under attack.
And we lost. So there you go, guys. That's Natural Selection 2 Combat Mode. Hope you enjoyed the stream. And I'm sorry if it was a bit unprofessional. I'm really not that good at doing this, but I thought someone needed to do one, so there you go. This is available to play now. We have a server in the West Coast. We've got one in Australia and one in Europe. And you can generally find them because they've all got custom maps and things like that. So thank you for playing.